live. Hail to all, this is Bear Nerd Fun, and this is the Four Horsemen. But yeah, I know, we're three. But hey, new thing we're doing. The late edition and the Four Horsemen coming for entertainment. Doing. So, how you fellas doing? So what do you think of that abomination we just watched?
That's what I think.
Right out the hole.
Yep.
Bunch of gas.
Yeah, man.
Bunch of not a lot of soul to it. And things didn't even make. There was a lot that didn't make sense.
A lot
I
that
think
didn't
maybe
make
there was.
sense.
I think maybe there was some good ideas, maybe, but definitely no follow through. Bad writing all around. Oh man, I'm telling you.
I mean, you had a nice cameo by Brent Spiner.
Yeah, Brent Spiner is, as always, welcome. It just sucks
nice
that he's in a shitty show.
Yeah.
So where do we even start with this? Do we start with the android mind meld? Do we start with space flowers? Do we start with?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Well, let's go in order. What's up, Curse?
Hey, Timmy.
Yeah, same old crap.
No.
Yep, pretty much. But with same old crap. It's still crap, but it's like new crap. there's Uncharted crap. Star Trek Uncharted crap. That should be the name of the show.
Yeah.
Space flowers, people. Space flowers that take down spaceships. I'm not even kidding. That's exactly what they're called.
Space flowers.
I mean, they literally call them. Orchids. Not only do they look like orchids, but they literally call them orchids. So my question to you guys, and I think they kind of answer this in the show, is they were created. They're not organic, right? They're created. They were, I guess, mechanical by the androids, because I think at one point Picard says, how many of these do you have, or how many more do you have? And she's like, only a few more, but we can make more. So they're not organic.
Well, maybe they're organic orchids with positronic brains.
Very similar to themselves.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
That is ridiculous and probably accurate.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good point. They're probably positronic brains, but with organic type of bodies, or whatever you want to call it, plant-like features. And they go up to attack these ships, only to latch onto them and inevitably fall to their deaths. So they're like kamikaze orchids. And why the heck choose an orchid? Like, if you're going to design a defense system, it's not like they're hiding, right? It's not like it's for camouflage. They're going through the jungle and they never see them coming. No, they're flying through freaking space. So it's pretty obvious. There's no reason. Why would you design it as a flower? What benefit would you have?
I don't know what was going on in that writer's room. I've got no idea.
My God. Wow.
Yeah, it really just doesn't make sense. The design just seems to be very lackluster.
Like, hey guys, it'd be cool, space orchids.
Yeah, hey, Nancy, just not very imaginative.
Yeah, we're talking about
hello, Nancy.
The ooze and the stuff that oozes off the bottom of the engine. That's pretty much what we watched. And there was the writing. There's just no writing. They're not writing anything good anymore, and they had some good ideas, but they're not even following through on their good ideas, if they're even good ideas. I may be getting fooled a little bit by nostalgia. I've only watched it once.
Well, we saw it kind of 1.5 times.
Yeah, because we were watching it, and then Final came in late, and then we went back and rewatched the first half of it, and cringe, definitely cringe.
So we kind of got a good Picard moment when, for whatever reason,
Flower power. Funny.
you
Flower power. Yeah.
I think that was it. Yeah.
But yeah, you would think there would be I don't know, man. I'm telling you.
It was a snail's pace too. Snail's pace. Such a
Well,
slow paced
It
episode.
started off with some action, right? Because you have the chase scene where you've got the I don't know, what's the guy's name? The Romulan guy who's
Narek.
Narek. Yeah, you've got him
Yeah.
chasing them, and that's a little fast paced. You've got some action there, um, and then come the space flowers, and then once they get to the planet, then it's a lot of story, right? Which isn't bad if it's done well, but you get a lot of story. So you get the android planet, and you figure out that's where Soji's from, and she starts conveniently remembering, certain things about her past. So you realize she was from there, and she's starting to remember the people there, and but it slows down a little bit. I mean, that's where Brent Spiner comes in, and you find out that he is the son of the creator of Data, and Data was patterned to look exactly like his son, which I don't know. I get that's usually I would think you'd see something like that when the son dies, and you're trying to like have his memory live on or something. So you create the robot to look like your son. I mean, that's kind of more of like a weird mourning or coping thing, I would think. But I don't know. He patterned him to look after his son, but his son was still alive. So I find that's kind of weird. It's almost like making a twin, of your son.
Right.
Well,
I mean, I don't know. I think that's weird. If he had died, I think that's more like believable, I guess.
Well, I thought he patterned Data and Lore to look like himself, and they didn't have a son, so I don't know.
Unless he was the son was an identical replication of the father.
Maybe he's another android. He's like Juliana Hatfield from that one episode where Data had a mother, and ended up being an android that aged, and she didn't know she was an android.
Hey, did you guys know that chronoton fields were associated with a Borg conduit?
Is I'm not sure what that is.
That's what I was just it's when they're in the Borg conduit, they're talking about the chronoton field and making sure it's adjusted and all that, so it's not so bumpy. And because that was the one thing that I was managed to get written down, and because not really enough time to write any notes. I'm gonna have to go through it and write some notes on it because when I do a review,
Bear, weren't you saying something else about when they were going through, like when they were going through warp speed or the light speed that it didn't look
Yeah, it looked like a hyperspace tunnel. Their warp speed looked like a coned, a very narrow coned hyperspace tunnel.
more
And
like
it
Star
doesn't.
Wars.
Yeah, it looks more like Star Wars to me. And the Borg conduit did not look like a Borg conduit. It looked more like a Doctor Who conduit.
Yeah, Doctor Who, or it looked more like the wormhole from Deep Space Nine with better graphics. To me.
Yeah. Well, Deep Space Nine, that thing looked better than this, and that's a long
Yeah.
time ago.
Well, I wouldn't doubt it if they threw Cisco in the mix somewhere, like he was living
Yeah.
in the subspace conduit.
But yeah, it's just like they've got great ideas, but they're little bits and pieces, and you could probably cut all the bad stuff out, and you might have a 45-minute episode of something good. You know?
Or cut all the bad stuff out and have like a 2-hour movie instead of a 10-hour or 10-part series.
Yeah. I mean,
They could have probably had a good movie with this had they cut all the slow pacing and
yeah.
focused a little more on tying things together.
And all
Final. That's a really good point because the way they're filming this and pacing it, they're pacing it like they're filming for a production movie.
Yeah.
And when you're filming for TV shows, you don't got all that luxury of time with that stuff because you got to get it in the can, get it cut down, and get the story delivered. And you don't have lots of time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Bear, that there's a lot of good ideas, and if they'd fully explored them, and I mean, even the ideas they had, okay, they were interspersing the Borg cube in with, what's happening with Picard and his band of, merry gangsters or pranksters or whatever he's traveling with. And if they just would have spent like, 2 or 3 episodes on the Borg cube, or maybe then 2 or 3 episodes, or, focused a little bit more, But this Borg thing went nowhere. Nowhere.
Well, yeah, they spent the first part of the show. Well, the first, I guess, what is this, episode 9? The first 8 episodes getting this thing up and running. It was such a big deal, right? The whole show hinged on getting this thing up and running, and then within 1 episode, it crashes to the ground, and that's it.
Yeah,
There's a lot of build up for very little payoff, and taken down by space orchids, by flowers nonetheless.
Yeah, and ultimately the only purpose that the Borg cube to get there, everything that happened, the only reason it was there was so that the long range sensors could tell them that the Romulan fleet was coming. But it was like, you didn't need to do that. You could have just had Rios' ship. Oh, I've managed to get long range sensors operational for 10 minutes or something like that. I mean,
right. They could have written around that to make it easier and not need the whole freaking Borg cube. I mean, that whole storyline with the Borgs, it just seems out of place now because it didn't really go anywhere.
It didn't.
Yeah, there was no payoff for it, like you said.
Yeah, there wasn't a payoff.
It's like, hurrah, and then nothing.
It's like, oh,
I'm like, okay, big huge cube moving in action, and like, oh yeah, and like, what just fucking happened? What did we just see?
The biggest line was, that's not supposed to be working. And then, oh, so it is working. That was like the biggest, that's like the big kaboom of that thing. That's like the equivalent of saying Palpatine's back. Palpatine's returned.
Or they fly now. It's
working. They fly now. Right. Yeah, they fly now. It's not supposed to be operational. Oh, so it is operational. And then boom, it crashes and dies, and it's not operational anymore. Hey, what's up, Scott?
News podcast.
What's going on, Scott?
Yeah. Well, it's not a great episode, Scott. Not a great episode.
No,
it suffers from the problems pretty much all the rest of the episodes had.
Yeah,
it's got that like, wow, they're gonna do something. I'm like, shit, they didn't do nothing. Wow, they're gonna do something. Nope, they're not doing nothing. And I'm just like, what the hell?
Yeah, literally see the Borg cube come out of the warp space and get into action for 30 seconds until those space flowers come and attack it and bring it down.
Yeah.
You spend the first 8 episodes building up to this big thing, trying to get this thing operational and getting it back, and and that's all you get. You get like 30 seconds of it running, and then crashing.
Well, they even attempted to subvert our expectations when we even get to the synth village. It's like, save the synths, save the synths, save the. Oh, they're evil now.
Yeah. So then
the Romulans were right.
Right. So we could get into that. So we have so they finally get there, right? And they meet the what's her name? The twin of the more robotic looking, the more data looking android version of Soji.
Yeah, basically the one with the lore attitude. Felt real like
Jaja.
The lore. Yeah.
Yeah, so you find out there's this, I guess this was the sister of the twin that Rios was talking about from the last episode when he saw the picture or the drawing and he knew, who Soji was. He's like, I met her before, he knew. So this is the sister, right?
I'm getting the impression that
the not quite identical twin sister.
The green data-like skin is basically they're supposed to be more android and less synthetic flesh and stuff like that. More android and less Cylon, put it that way.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. They're not as evolved as
Right.
Soji, so to speak.
But
But
then,
much more evil. Well, actually, no. Soji can't mind meld, as far as we know.
Well, that's so yeah. So then you have her, this evil twin of Soji descent, that mind melds. And how the heck? Now, as far as I know, I'm not an expert in Star Trek, but as far as I know, that's only a Vulcan. Can the Romulans even do that, or has it just strictly been Vulcans?
And that's a good point, because they made a point in the last episode of saying that Commodore O was half Romulan and half Vulcan, and maybe that's how she was able to do the mind meld.
was half Romulan, half
Half Vulcan,
you have to have some kind of Vulcan blood, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, how does an android do a mind meld?
Yeah, so they actually have a mind meld with an android who, for as far as we know, is all android and no Vulcan.
So did they mix some DNA in with the android from Vulcan DNA or something?
I didn't even know you could mix DNA with an android.
Did they study?
Because it's not like Soji. I mean, had it been Soji and they used that, I guess I could see how they could, sort of make sense. Not saying it's a good idea, but I could see how because she's technically kind of sort of human, right? She's got a human body and she's flesh and blood. So I guess you could say she, could have been mixed, but not this one. This one is straight up like Data, looks like Data. So there's no human aspect. So I don't think you can mix DNA into that. So how the heck does she do that? I mean, are they that terrible at writing that they're just using something that is so a part of the Star Trek lore? I mean, that's like I'm not the biggest fan, but I'm a fan enough. Like I know that that's a Vulcan thing. I even asked that when we were watching the stream. I was like, wait, how's she doing this? Isn't this a Vulcan thing? And you guys both were like, yeah, exactly. That's what we were saying.
We both in stereo said, yep.
Yeah. So
how's that happen?
I mean, how are they just so targeting the show to people that aren't Star Trek fans that they figure, we don't need to write. It doesn't need to make sense to the according to the lore, because the people we're targeting, are not Star Trek fans, previous Star Trek fans, right? We're trying to get a new audience, and to hell with the old Star Trek fans, because I don't care. I'm not writing for them. Is it like the Star Wars thing with Rian Johnson? I don't forget about the lore, forget about the history. I don't care about that. I'm trying to capture this new audience, and to hell with the old school fans. Do you think it's an agenda that they're doing?
I have to lean. I think I'm leaning towards incompetence is what I'm leaning towards at this point.
So they just don't care enough, or aren't smart enough to do the research.
Pretty much.
Yep. They don't obviously understand in Star Trek lore how Data was created, what he was composed of, and what he was made of. Probably they should have consulted Geordi.
Where is Geordi? Why isn't he in the show? I miss his character.
Yeah, he would be needed.
I mean, it would have been nice to have more of a Riker too, but he's got that one episode, and that was basically it.
Yeah, man, Riker's off cooking pizzas and like felling timber and going around with Babe the Blue Ox.
Now Tommy says they are following the stupid script, the one JJ started with the movies. Where Tommy, you're talking about like where the timelines all changed? Because I thought this was supposed to follow the unaffected time or the original timeline. So when it shifted, this is following. I thought that, but maybe I'm wrong.
Romulus blowing up, that's a JJ thing. So they're treating that as canon. So technically, yeah, it's in the JJ verse, because in my mind, at least, in the regular timeline, Romulus is still there.
Right.
Okay, so this is following. They're mixing them.
So basically in this TV show, Romulus is still there, or it's exploded already.
In this show, it's exploded.
It's gone.
Yeah.
And
But how can you mix them though? You can't mix the timelines. I mean, they're two separate events that drastically changed the course of, their futures. So, I mean, how can you mix them? Take a little bit of that, a little bit of this.
Basically.
Again, it's like what Star Wars is doing with the EU. Oh, we forget about it. We're not using it. It doesn't count. But then it's like, well, we'll take from it here. Oh, we'll take from it there. It's kind of the same thing, mixing things that aren't really supposed to be mixed. Yeah, it's pretty stupid.
right.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. You can't. It's like you can't have it both ways. Okay, so it's following the JJ timeline.
But not the Kelvin timeline, the alternate timeline with Vulcan blown up. It's following the regular timeline after Romulus blew up, and Vulcan is still there. Yeah.
The regular timeline.
So Vulcan is not.
Yeah, right.
Is it sort of like is the one writer got a message for the other writer that made Vulcan go exploding? Is it a message that because JJ was the one that wanted that to happen, right? With Vulcan exploding, being sucked into an anomaly.
Yeah, he said he wanted to go big.
Yeah,
do something big.
So the writing there, maybe that was a message to JJ, something. I don't know, man.
I don't think they're smart enough to have a message.
True. Or they could have a beef with one another. Who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe.
Bumblebee switched things around too in the timeline, like the way he got to Earth. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Tommy says trash. Yes, I agree, Tommy.
Yeah,
So,
trash.
how about that tricorder, man?
Oh yeah, good point. What about
Tricorder.
that tricorder? Again,
nothing
something I
like-
asked. I'm like, which tricorder is that?
Yeah.
It's not one I've seen, and you guys both said at the same time, "Yep." That's what we said
did.
that too. Yeah, I'm like that's
did.
not a next generation tricorder. It's not an original series tricorder. And then you guys said it wasn't Deep Space Nine either.
No,
So where the heck? What do you think? What do you think?
Well, they gave it TFG sound effects, but it clearly was not any tricorder I've ever seen.
No, it didn't fold for one.
It's like, did they not buy the tricorder license for this show or what?
Yeah. Do you think it's a licensing thing? It would be
Yeah.
interesting to see
It's like,
the rights to like.
we could not afford to pay for the tricorder license.
Yeah. So we had to develop one that did not look
man.
anything like either the original or the next generation. Now, I don't know. It'd be interesting because I don't remember in the JJ movies what the tricorder looked like. I don't remember. Maybe it looked like the tricorders from the JJ movies. If this is following the JJ timeline.
Let me look one of those up and see if I can find one.
Because I'm sure they use them in the movie. I just don't remember what they look like.
I thought they were smaller in JJ Trek. Let me see.
Tricorders they use in there.
Yeah, like the the Into Darkness and the
They
whatever the
probably
first
didn't
one.
look like tricorders either in JJ Trek.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe they based it off of that. Based this off of that one.
Okay, JJ Trek.
Which I don't really remember what they look like. I'm looking at. Oh, here I found one.
Okay.
No, it looks more like the original. No, yeah, it is different. Here, I'll put Bear. You want to share this? Oh wait. See if I can pull this up.
So Nancy says, I agree. Trash. Where are all the brilliant minds? Where did they go? And Tommy says they gave in to the PC culture hive mind. They have been silenced or scared to death.
Exactly. That is
Yeah.
so right on the money. They're in fear of these. I don't know. I
There we
call them social justice mind police. You know,
go.
want to control what people think and say. No, thank you.
Like, what do you mean an android can't mind meld? Fucking racist. You're racist against androids, fucko.
Okay, so here's what it looks like. This is the J.J. Abrams tricorder. So no, I don't think it's this either. Here, I'm going to try to screenshot this. Oh.
You on a laptop?
Yeah, I'm on the laptop. Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Just
if you're
trying to
trying
get
to
a
screen
good-
share from a phone, it won't do it.
Oh no, I know. I can't stream on here with my phone very well. Okay, here you go.
Let's see.
So there's also this picture here.
Seems to look a little bit more like what we saw.
A little bit.
The front
Although
half
I
of
still
it.
don't think that's
And that's
exactly.
a J.J. Abrams tricorder.
Yeah, this is the J.J. Abrams tricorder. There's also
the flip out part didn't look like it, but the
that's the
end
original
part did.
Yeah, this is another version.
So, but that does look a little bit more like what we saw.
Yeah, I don't remember it flipping though.
Yeah, I don't remember the flip part either
At all. I don't think it flipped.
But the front part of it did look like that.
This one you can't. Yeah, see, this is. Oh, that's a phaser. A phaser? That's not a phaser. That's the tricorder again.
Dummies.
Yeah.
I found one.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't look like that either, though. It looked thicker, bulkier, and it didn't look like it flipped at all. I wonder if we could look up.
Hail Stig Kenobi.
Hail.
See if we can look up tricorder and Picard.
Look at that. There's one I found right there.
Oh, so that's the whole thing from. Yeah, that's the phaser, tricorder, and communicator. Yeah, yeah.
What's up, Stig?
Yeah, I mean that's it. I mean, it kind of looks. I don't think that's it though.
Yeah, it looked bigger.
And this thing you need to flip open for to see anything, and she wasn't flipping anything open in that scene.
No, I didn't see her flip anything.
Yeah. So where the heck did they get it from? Did they just make it up? Did they just make up their own tricorder?
Probably.
And it was like one of the original ones.
I thought I saw like a little antenna on the end of it.
Now this looks like this version of it, which is this isn't the original version of it. Where did this come from? Here, Bear, I'm going to share this screen. Or you are sharing it. Okay, yeah. Now tell me about that.
I just put it up.
What is this from? Because that's not the original series, but it does look like it.
That looks like similar to what Bones used to use.
See, that looks a little more like the one that she picked up, like kind of thicker, little
Remember
bulkier.
how Bones was kind of big and bulky, and he had a round piece that he used to use.
Yeah, like this thing here. Yeah. Interesting. Because the one I'm thinking of is this looks different than that too, though. But this does look a little more like the version that we saw.
It does.
Stig, we're hanging in there. Things are pretty peaceful around here, and there's still hardly any toilet paper in the
Stig
store.
in here? Oh, Stig. Hey,
Yeah,
I'm happy to hear you're doing better. I heard you were sick, and I talked to Stephen about it, and he said you were doing much better. So I hope you are feeling better.
You didn't have the bug, did you?
Yeah, I think he may have.
Oh shit.
But yeah, if you can update us, Stig. But I heard Stephen had told me you were doing better, so I'd asked about you. So I hope that's true.
Stig says there's no worse than a mild cold.
Yep.
There's no worse than a mild cold. Oh well,
that's basically what I've been hearing, and there's been some other YouTubers that have been talking about people they
4 or 5 days. That's not bad either.
Yeah, I could live with that.
Yeah.
The swine flu was terrible. That
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we've got such. I don't want to get too. I don't want to really talk about this whole thing, but I mean, it is
Yeah.
weird that we're going through the intense shutdown of the world that we're going through.
Yeah.
Over something that seems to be. I don't know. I mean, I know it's a big deal. I'm not saying that, but I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot of worse things that haven't had this kind of, these effects.
Right.
Severity of
Well, there's definitely some genuine stress going on. That's for sure.
yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe we can do live streams and provide some entertainment for some folks and relieve some of that stress and get people's minds off stuff.
for
Yeah,
sure.
like trying to figure out what freaking tricorder this is.
Yeah,
So-
I still don't understand. I'm still
is
stuck
there a
on the
link?
Android mind meld.
Let me see if I can do
Does that
let's
picture have a link? Does it got original website where it came from?
Fox tricorder. Yeah, this is what I think of. Yeah, this is what I think of as the tricorder, which
Yeah.
is also different than the one we just looked at. And this is definitely not. Oh, this is like a toy. This is definitely not what we saw either. I don't believe. This is pretty iconic look. I don't think this is what she had. Now, the one we looked at was similar to this.
It was basically 7-inch tablet shaped and kind of twice as thick.
Yeah,
It kind of reminded me of those flat cameras that used to pop out and then would fold flat. Kind of what it reminded me of a little bit, shape wise.
Yeah.
Old school mechanical cameras that used to
Yeah,
pop
I'll
over.
zoom in on it a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, right. I mean, I don't think that was it either.
No,
It looked more similar to the other one that
that's along the
we were
lines of
looking at.
of
Yeah, see
almost
this. It looked a
original.
little more similar to that.
Yeah,
Which is, this one and the original one that Spock used are reminiscent of each other, but not quite the same. But yeah, it looks more like that. I don't know. It's weird. Wish we could get a better picture of it, but I can't seem to find it here. Yeah, I mean, I typed in tricorder in Picard series. Yeah, there's nothing really coming up here for.
let's see here. If you just do a search for tricorder, it's all next generation tricorders that pop up.
Yeah.
Particularly, and they show the one that Bones used in the TOS.
The one that we were looking at there?
Oh yeah, I found one. Yep. Yeah. Okay, I'll show that one.
No, that's
Because
cool.
if I share that one, you just leave yours up and I'll pop mine
Okay.
up.
So the rumor about learning about Beverly Crusher's off-screen death hasn't happened.
Which one?
There was a leak, supposedly the Beverly Crusher. It would be revealed that she died off screen around episode 8 or 9, I believe.
Yeah, this
Died
is,
off screen.
Yeah.
That there. Remember the Deep Space Nine episode where they went back in time.
Trials and
they were
Tribulations.
and they were on the Enterprise. Well, remember the scene where one of the cute chicks that was cuting at Bashir? She said, "Your flap's open." He didn't look at the tricorder. He looked at his zipper. I think, oh, it was funny,
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good episode. That was one of my favorite DS9 episodes.
Yeah, that's like Spock's original tricorder there. Yeah.
So yeah,
I don't know.
I believe this is a replica of the original TOS tricorder. And it's nerdywithchildren.com. I got a film they
Yeah, it's funny going back and watching the original series. Like the materials used and the font that was used. The font is like what I remember from old cars from that era.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's funny because, like, you think, well, that was supposed to take place in the future, right? So the technology's obviously advanced, but like the optics of it, the construction of it is very 1960s, you know? So you think, well, in the future, somehow we start reverting back to making things look like from the 60s.
Right.
Yep. Like the chairs. I think my grandma actually had some chairs like that.
Yeah, yeah, the chairs that were like that, just the really basic clunky construction, and then as the shows progress, obviously the technology got better, so it looks better now than it did obviously in the
Okay.
60s, but yet that's all supposed to be in the future. So, it's kind of funny to think like, well, in a couple thousand, or no, not a couple hundred years from now, well, I guess
Apparently,
we go to space and explore, but we make everything look like it's 1966.
look what I found. This is a
Yep.
Mark One tricorder. You see that?
Oh, well, that that is a
That
little
looks a little
more
closer to what they were
similar.
trying to imitate. And this is a
Yeah,
Mark
that looks a
One.
little closer.
Oh,
Like from the cage, like a cage era tricorder.
whatever a Mark One's supposed to be, a Mark One tricorder. Let me open this real quick to see what that is there.
Yeah, I mean it
Photos of
definitely
it.
looks a little closer. I wish we could get a view of it though, but this still looks a little like the casing still looks a little more advanced in this. The casing for the other one I thought looked more clunky.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it was maybe from the original series because it kind of looked like it was old school, like 60s style construction. But I don't know. It did look more like flat kind of screen, sort of like this. I mean, they also could have just taken a couple ideas and threw them together because maybe like you said, Bear, they don't have the rights to use an actual tricorder. They didn't want to splurge for the tricorder rights. Like, well, we're only using it in one flashback scene, so
There's
Well, they used.
actual that image has actual scientific functions in it,
that's
including it's
cool.
got an electromagnetic field meter. You can measure the electromagnetic field with the meter that's built in. So basically, this is a scientific instrument that does real things.
But this is just wait. Is this a real type of instrument or
It's a
just?
real scientific instrument. It does real things. That's what I'm getting
Oh,
from
so
it.
this isn't from the show. This is an actual like
Nope.
kind of
Nope.
sort of tricorder type
it's a
device.
company. Basically, they made
Wow.
something a scientific instrument because they like Star Trek
Yeah, yeah,
and yeah,
yeah,
Trek
yeah.
Tech.
There's a couple devices out there that are pretty kind of tricorder-ish.
Yeah, our
There you go.
smartphones are
Look is cool, but
tricorder-ish.
I'll
which
put
yes, well, smartphones are like tricorder and a
I'll
communicator
put that website
all in one.
in the chat if you guys want to take
I
a
mean,
look
the
at
original
it.
like Motorola flip phones are definitely based off of the Star Trek communicators. They look the same. They flip. They definitely were influenced by Star Trek.
Yeah, those things were cool. I miss buttons sometimes.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes the tactile, yeah, features you kind of do sort of
Yeah,
miss.
you remember being able to send the text message and not even looking at the buttons? Remember that?
Yeah, you'd have to hit
Yeah,
the two, twice if you want
yeah.
to be and
It's like you didn't have to even look at it, to send a text
yeah.
message. You know, it's like can't do that with a touch screen.
No, you have to look.
You have to look.
Yeah, they had the Palm Treo. I loved that thing. That thing was a hybrid. It had a touch screen and it had a keypad.
Which one was that?
It was the Palm Trio.
Never had that.
Yeah. It had an infrared, and I needed the infrared to get into these lock boxes that we used. They communicated with each other, and it was the only phone that had it. But then they discontinued it.
Yeah,
Son of a
Nokia was
gun.
really cool about its smartphones when it first came out with smartphones. It used the Symbian operating system. But basically, if they just would have started using the Android operating system from the beginning, it probably would have saved them. They probably wouldn't have gone the way they did. because they had a Nokia N8, and basically it was basically just like a Galaxy S5. It was very similar to a Galaxy S5. There was no physical buttons, touchscreen, and it was one of the first flagship smartphones that Nokia had.
Is BlackBerry even in business anymore?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Dude,
They
because
might be.
those phones really took off. Lots of people had Blackberries. I had a Blackberry for a while.
Yeah, I had the Storm 2, which was like a sort of iPhone touch screen kind of thing. It was like their version of it.
Yeah, those things are pretty cool. I mean, although my Palm phone was vastly superior to the BlackBerry. Like the BlackBerry had that little, first they had a little trackball, to roll on the screen, kind of like a mouse.
Yeah, the little scroll thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
then
remember those.
Yep, and then they went to like a touch one where you just rubbed your thumb across it, kind of like a mouse pad, and that was a little better.
Tommy has the old Motorola with the extending antenna. Are you talking about the brick type of one, or was yours still a flip phone Motorola with the extending?
Yeah,
they had a couple.
Yeah, is it like the
They had a
StarTAC,
flip phone,
or is it like the Razr? Or
yeah. So I think they had a flip phone that had an extendable antenna, but then they also had like more of the flat, like the StarTAC brick one. Here's a trivia. Do you know the line? Here's some trivia for you. Beam me up, Scotty, is never actually said.
I've heard that. I've also heard that he's dead, Jim, also isn't an actual line.
He's dead, Jim?
Yeah, he's dead, Jim is not supposed to be an actual line by McCoy. Yeah. Jim, this man's dead.
What do they call that?
Yeah.
When you remember something differently?
The Mandela effect.
Yeah, Mandela effect.
Mandela effect, yeah.
The biggest one is like the Bernstein Bears, right?
Yeah, the Berenstain.
Berenstain. See, I remember the Berenstain Bears.
I always thought they were the Bernstein Bears.
No, I don't remember that at all. That sounds, just wrong to me. It's weird. Some things like that, like our C-3PO having one of his legs silver.
Hey, check this out.
Yeah, I don't remember that either, but yeah, he did have a silver leg.
That looks pretty close to what they showed us.
I don't know. It was really dark. I didn't remember the screen in the middle.
Yeah, that looks like it also flips. You can see where the brackets are to have it flip. It was more bricky. It looked more of like a boxy kind of thing.
It was long, rectangular, and it looked like it was about 1.5 inches thick.
Yeah, it looked pretty thick. The Mandela effect. Yeah, usually I'll think somebody will have been dead, and then I'll find out they're alive and doing interviews. I'm like, what? I thought they were dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could have been just their career you were thinking of.
Yeah.
As opposed to the actual person. Yeah. Yes, C-3PO's silver leg. I did a video on that like a year or so ago. A couple Mandela effects in Star Wars, and that's one of them. If people don't remember him having a silver leg yet, he has always apparently had a silver leg. So that's a Mandela effect. And also the famous line, Luke, I'm your father, where he never says that.
Yeah, he just says
no, I am your father. Yeah, but that one's not to me, I always remember him saying, no, I am your father. I never remember him saying, Luke, I am your father. It's just one of like the cultural things, that got picked up on. So it's kind of parodied in movies, like Tommy Boy, he says it, but it's not in the actual movie. It's like
funny.
a line that kind of condenses that scene and gets the point across, without actually saying the actual dialogue.
Yep.
Right.
It's
Which is probably the Beam Me Up Scotty, probably the same thing.
Mark Hamill
Gets
when
the
he was
whole-
when he was playing the trickster in The Flash. He actually said, "I am your father" to like whoever the tricksters.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
that's pretty good.
And the way he delivered the line too was really cheeky. Like he was, it was a nod.
Yeah. He knew it was a nod.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's he plays a great villain, cheeky villain. His voice, I mean, his Joker is still, I think, my favorite version of Joker
Yeah, mine too.
that we've had amongst the plethora of Jokers that we've gotten now.
Well,
I still think he's number one.
don't bring him back in real life to play the Joker live action because they'll kill him.
Yeah, that's right. They'll make him a wuss.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they brought Kevin Conroy in to play actual Batman. Well, I think he might have been an alternate universe Batman, but I guess Batwoman killed him.
Oh God, really?
Yep.
That woman kills him?
Apparently.
Is he evil or something in the show? What?
Something I quit watching around whenever, but apparently, I guess in the alternate universe, something happens and she has to kill him.
So they killed our childhood of the animated series along with it.
Yep, and that sucks because I always wanted to see Kevin Conroy do a live action Batman.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, he's got the best voice for it, and when he was younger, at least he could have pulled off the look.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, he was playing an
no
older
luck trying
Batman,
to
but
find
yeah,
the
he could.
exact tricorder that they used. But eventually, sooner or later, there's going to be images of it popping up, and it's like, okay, did they not pay their tricorder license bill or something?
Yeah, right.
Because it looked like a 7-inch tablet, that was made of metal, and it was just a little bit thick and like nothing I'd ever seen in Star Trek before. That looked nothing like a tricorder to me.
Mm-mm. So, what are our predictions for episode 10?
Well, they're gonna have to do a lot
My God.
because it's really been a slow pace. So to make it some kind of exciting finale, I mean, you've got the Romulan fleet headed their way, right? So
Yep.
they're going to be after them, and then you have the androids wanting to kill off the humans, and I think Soji's going to end up probably killing her, android-like counterpart. I think there's going to be a fight scene, and she's going to end up taking her out.
Yeah, there's going to be a girl fight, basically.
I think so. I think there might be. Yeah. Well, she's now working with oh God, what's the guy's name? The Romulus brother.
Oh yeah, Narek. Yeah,
Narek. I keep forgetting his name. Yeah, Narek.
And,
they're working
hey,
together. So.
Didn't you say that there was a rumor going around that Narek is going to end up being what did you say, undercover
a Borg sleeper agent, if that even makes any sense.
Yeah, how does that work?
Yeah,
well,
that's kind of what I said. How's that work?
Well, I mean, we've already gotten a synth mind meld, and so I wouldn't put it past him at this point.
Yeah, that really kind of threw a wrench in the whole. I mean, it's already not really that believable, but yeah, an android mind meld. Just how the heck? Like, how the heck is that possible? It breaks all the laws of Star Trek, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then for some reason everybody knows
breaks
that
everything, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then for some reason everybody knows that Agnes Naggy Nag McWomansplain is a murderer, and everybody's okay with it, or I don't know. It's very strange.
Yeah, and they knew that's another point. They somehow knew she was a murderer, even though that had happened on a ship in the middle of space, and that hadn't been like public news. Somehow, when she arrives at the planet, they know she's a murderer, that she killed Maddox.
And everybody's totally okay. They're like, "Oh, we're so sorry you killed Maddox. We're so sorry he died."
Yeah. Yeah, like no big deal.
Yeah, it must be terrible for you, Agnes. It's just bizarre.
Yeah. It just doesn't really make sense either. How they knew that. There's a lot of this show that they just didn't really think out too well.
It's like they took a bunch of people and they were giving some minor notes about what to do, and these people never watch Star Trek ever, have no clue or concept what Star Trek is, and they made Star Trek Picard. These people got no clue.
Yeah.
They got no clue what canon is. They got no clue what established characters are and how you carry on their continuity. They have no idea.
They don't.
I mean, it's just asinine what they're doing when they come in here and what they do when they write the bad writing and all that stuff. You know, good writing, that's what we want. What is so hard about that?
For them,
My
apparently it's
God.
very hard.
But you see, there's people out there that has the talent. You know, all the other people out there that were in production with Star Trek, they're still out there. Hire those people, stop being idiots, and write some good stuff and make some good Star Trek.
Yep.
Because the Star Trek fans that still care, if they still care, they're not going to be fooled by crap.
Yeah.
A little bit
Right.
of nostalgia here and there, it's not going to fool nobody.
And the way they put it in, it's just so out of place. Like when they were on that planet with Riker, and Riker's daughter is like, "Oh, Data, he had an orange cat." Like it just came out of nowhere.
It's like, yeah, that's what you remember. That's your go-to right now.
Yep. No, wait, she said, "Didn't he have an orange cat?" It was just, yes, he had an orange cat.
Yeah, very, very haphazardly thrown in there.
Yep. Like, thanks, dude. You really know what you're talking about.
Yeah. That's the whole metaphor. That's the whole theme of this show, though, I guess. It's just not really well thought out. Some of it's played for nostalgia. Some of it's played for modern day, trying to get people to be fans that aren't really fans, not really caring as much about the original fans, but then just throwing that nostalgia every now and then to try to make, I guess, the old fans happy, not thinking that they're going to see right through this and, be like, wait a second, androids can't do a mind meld.
Right. Oh, hey, I actually want to give them credit for something. I just thought of it.
What's that?
So when we were first introduced to Daj and Soji, they were both slutting around with some random dude. And when we're introduced to Soji's other sister, Android Soji, she made a move on Narek and was trying to slut around with him. So,
She actually
consistency.
did kind of look like she made moves on him a little bit.
yep. She's like, "I would kill you, but I'd rather do something else first."
Rather
Yeah.
suggestive.
Yep.
I'm like, okay.
Yep. Like, she's a Soji, all right.
Yeah, Green Girl Data Imitation. Yeah, we got to come up with a better name than that.
Data's
Green and Evil.
Data's android slut daughter.
Yeah.
Data's slutty McSlutterson.
Huh.
Did you notice there was original synths from the Mars that were there?
Yeah, I saw a couple of them. Yep.
I'm kind of wondering
I
how
noticed
those
that as
got
well.
there. How they get there.
Well, I'm assuming they started there, and then they were shipped off to work on Mars. Because that seems to be the home planet where they came. I mean, that's where Soji said she came from. So I'm guessing they all came from there.
But you see, the sense they were being created by Maddox somewhere else where they were shut down at, where they were being made at. So that wouldn't necessarily line up, would it? That's what I'm saying. How they end up there. Because the sense that basically caused Mars to catch on fire doesn't have no atmosphere, but yet it's on fire. But those, they were hacked. But they were being um, built on what's the institute on Okinawa?
Oh, the Daystrom Institute.
Daystrom
Yeah.
Institute. So they were being built there. Remember, they got shut down. Everything was shut down and all that stuff. Plus, Maddox, remember what he said? They found him and they used this weird stuff and dissolved everything that he was doing. And that was some of the points, the things that he brought up. Because basically the Romulans destroyed everything. You know the acid that the
Oh yeah,
weird
the pukey green
the
acid. Yeah,
molecular
the stuff they
well,
puke
that's the
out.
stuff they used
Oh,
on
yeah.
on his whole plant where he was making synthetics.
Yeah, boy, there's a lot that doesn't make sense about this show. Like, I mean, they're talking
Yeah,
about.
there we go. We'll call her Emerald. There we
So-
go. Emerald
There we
Girl.
go.
There you
Emerald,
go.
yeah. So first they tell us that Soji and Daj were created by like a positronic particle that was cloned from Data's DNA, but you've got B4 sitting right there in a drawer, and even though B4 shut down, B4 still had all of Data's memories in B4, so they could have just used that and said that's where Data's memories came from, but instead we get this convoluted bullshit about how Data was how they cloned Daj and Soji for it doesn't make any sense. It's making my head hurt.
Right. It makes absolutely no sense, the stuff that they're doing. I mean, believe it or not, Soji's actually likable in this episode compared to the others.
Yeah, she's likable in this.
She's likable. Her character is basically written better than her character has been. Her character, I found her character believable at moments, and there was a softness to her that wasn't there before. There was a hard edge to her before that just wasn't believable. I had a hard time believing her character, and every time she smacks someone's hand away, it's just like, what is that? It just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
And it seemed
Yeah,
like
I agree. She's definitely
like
much
just
more
an excuse to have a woman
soft.
smack a man's hand. That's what it seemed like.
Probably was. It's probably exactly what it was.
I mean, come on, man. Star Trek was never about that. Jeez. It certainly wasn't about dropping F-bombs.
No, I know. That's
and, and telling people they were effing full of whatever, or calling them a effing arrogant person or something. What is up with stuff like that?
Yeah.
Riker never would have told Picard that he was arrogant directly. He would have been classy about it. He would have kind of hinted around the bush a little bit about it and kind of threw some obvious hints while being funny at the same time. That's what Riker would have done.
That is what he would have done. Yeah, see, I think those characters on the planet Nepenthe were originally supposed to be just random assholes that Picard ran into. And at the last minute, and Frakes even did an interview on that Will Wheaton After Trek show where he was like, yeah, they didn't even call me until after they were already in the middle of filming episode 5 to get me on the show. And I was like, yeah, of course I'll do it. And so, I think originally in the script, it was probably just Picard landed on a planet with random assholes he didn't know.
And they figured they needed a little more nostalgia berries, member berries.
Yeah. Boy, can you imagine how bad that episode would have been with just random people?
Member berries.
Yeah. Member berries. Yeah, no, it would not have been. Yeah, I mean, at least you had Will there to give you some kind of sense of Star Trek.
Oh yeah, it was great to
Yeah.
see him and Marina Sirtis back.
Yeah. Yeah, but it wasn't.
We got,
Well, at least
was
until
we had 9 watching.
at least until she said, "It's all your fault, Picard." I was really enjoying the nostalgic. I was really truly enjoying the nostalgic moment until she said, "It's all your fault, Picard." I was like,
Right.
"Oh God, here we go again."
Those of you out there listening, put something in the chat. You got any questions? We had 9 watching.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pretty good for
I just
2, 3,
refreshed the main
1.
chat page.
Oh yes,
And,
Tommy. That is
9
the
was
one
watching.
Tommy sent a picture in the in our Twitter chat. Yeah, of the phone he used to use. That's exactly what I was thinking of. Yep, the flip one that had the extendable. Yeah, I remember that one. We had one of those. Yep.
See.
Yeah, I mean that was totally like based off of Star Trek.
Oh, okay. Oh wow, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
That was like early 2000s, late.
Yeah, it's a Motorola.
Oh,
Late
that
90s.
was 90s. That was 90s that version.
That was the 94 model. Buddy of mine had one.
Yeah, that was like mid 90s. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's pretty cool.
Then there was another one
Yeah,
that's flip edge was perfectly straight. That model came out after this one. Let me see here.
What did Nancy ask the question there in the
Hey,
chat?
Steven, how you doing?
Man, I didn't even set up. Hold on, I didn't even set up my headset. That's too early.
It's too late for me.
God, yeah. Hold on, I'll be right back.
So Nancy asked, so this Soji, why can't she just be kind of random? I'm not sure I get what you mean there. So Soji SP, why can't she just be kind of random? You mean not connected to data?
Right.
I guess if that's what you're asking, then yeah, I agree. There's no reason she'd need to be connected to data. It was again, I think, a member berry, just so they'd have an excuse and a reason to get. I mean, data was in it because she was connected to data because it had to get Picard a call to action, and to get Picard involved, they had to use data to pull on his emotional heartstrings. So therefore, she, being Soji, was connected to her. That's what I think. And maybe that's not what you're asking. Well, that's my 2 cents anyway.
Soji, I didn't like her at first, but this episode, she was better portrayed.
I kind of started liking her ever since she had her breakdown. That breakdown episode where she starts kind of freaking out and starts realizing who she is or what, or that I guess who she's not.
I guess there was some genuine struggle there.
Yeah, that's right. There was genuine struggle there. That's when I started, liking her character. She came off hard edged to Picard in that episode, but that's understandable because she just, she's having like an identity crisis. So I can understand that's when you would be a little more skeptical of I don't know what's real and what's not at this point. And I thought she played that well, and she's more soft in this episode, like you said, there. She's more likable and a little softer in this episode. But that's I think also because she's got the evil version of her, the more android version of her to play that.
Yeah, I guess they had to soften her up a little bit.
Yeah, I think they had to balance her out.
Right.
Oh shit, that's right. Picard came out last night, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
God, I didn't watch it yet.
Have you watched? Are you caught up other than this episode?
Other than this one, yeah.
Episode 9.
How was it?
It was crap.
No, you're lying, Wes.
It was slow.
It has some things in it that change what we know of Star Trek, what should be possible.
If subverted expectations and plot holes galore are your thing, you would love it.
Oh God, give me the highlights.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you want spoilers?
Yeah, I don't care. I'm gonna.
You can't
Okay.
spoil something that's rotten.
I guess. So. Yeah, that's true. Well,
Yeah,
so the
'cause it's
board.
already
So first of all,
spoiled.
the Borg cube is chasing them. Right? They get away in their ship, the Picard, their ship, and then the Borg cube's chasing them, and they get to this planet that they're trying to get to, where Soji feels this is where the androids are located, because
Right.
she starts having these memories. So they get to this planet, and all of a sudden, from the planet's surface, these orchids, meaning the flower, these giant orchids are flying through space, attacking them.
Hold on.
And they pull them down to the
Hold
planet.
on. Hold on. Flowers.
Yes.
Attack.
Yep.
Yes.
Space flowers, giant space flowers.
Giant.
No.
You've seen what an orchid looks like and what it resembles, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, when you first said that, it made me think of the original, the TOS episode where those flowers who, like, made people's inhibitions go away, gave Spock emotion, things like that.
These are giant ones in space.
Yeah, spaceship size.
Make your spaceship go away.
Oh, are we okay? All right, sonar in space. Okay, go ahead, keep going.
Yeah. So you've got these flowers, and then you find out later in the episode that they were created by the androids as, I guess, their defense. So for some reason, they thought the best way of defending was to create giant flowers.
They're attack orchids.
Attack you. So that whole thing is just ridiculous.
Wait. A super intelligent android race who can think, act, react faster than regular people thought that space flowers was the best defense for their planet.
Yep.
Yes,
Apparently.
you've got that right.
Okay.
And the space flowers try to eat you.
Yeah, they try to eat the
course.
ship, but what happens? And again,
Feed me, Seymour.
What's that?
Feed me, Seymour.
Yeah,
I am
I
the little shop of horrors.
Like, I'm thinking that to myself.
These are space orchids, not space piranha
Fly
plants.
trap.
Okay, my bad. I'm sorry, Wes. I should know better.
Hey, it's not.
Get this
We should
correct.
all know better, right? That at least would have been that. I mean, if you're going to have attack space flowers, that might have been better.
What are they doing, Bear? What are they doing to the show?
Man, I watched a giant freaking orchid. It resembles something, and it ate ships. They flew into a flower. I'm just like, wow.
And the other funny thing about that whole sequence is on the ship, they ask Soji, they say, what these things look like orchids, what are they? And Soji says, yeah, we call them orchids. It's like, I mean, it's so on the nose. It's like, okay.
Oh, God.
So they don't even have a cool name for them. It's like they're calling them orchids just as a lack of a term. And they're like, hey, what are they really called? And she's like, yeah, we call them orchids. It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
And they latch onto your ship only to inevitably get destroyed with the ship as it falls back through the atmosphere. So they're like
Of course.
kamikaze orchids.
Yeah.
Kamikaze orchids. Okay. All right. Dig it.
Kamikaze space orchid. So, yeah, but that's only one thing. Has that won you over yet, Steven?
God, just keep going. I
Are
can't.
you firing up CBS All Access right now to watch it?
No. No. I need no.
Okay,
No.
then we got to tell you more. We got to get you more sold on this. What
All
else,
right.
guys?
Well, we have an android mind meld.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
So they get to this planet, the android planet, right? And Brent Spiner's there, so he shows up, right?
Whoa. Hold on.
Yep.
Wait.
Yep.
But he's not Data.
He's not Data.
But
He is the son that Data was patterned after. So so Brent Spiner plays the son of the who's the father? What's his name? The guy who created Data?
Something.
Dr. Noonien Soon.
Hector
Soon.
Elizondo Camacho Sung, I think is what it was.
Soon. Yeah, so he's the son of Soon. Brent Spiner plays the son of Soon, and this is who he patterned Data after. He made him to look like his son for some reason, even though his son was not dead. His son is still alive, but he still patterned him. So
okay.
It was just a reason to get Brent Spiner in the show, basically.
Okay.
So in this planet of all androids, you get introduced to Soji, a Soji character, but she looks like Data. She has like the kind of greenish golden yellow skin
and
eyes.
She's got lore evil overtones.
Okay.
Yeah, she's very
well, she doesn't have lore evil overtones until after she does her android mind meld. Let's be fair here.
Right.
That is true.
Okay.
But she's all android, right? She's not supposed to be like Soji, who is kind of human and android, sort of, a new sort of version. She's old school like Data. But she grabs what do you call her? Complaining woman splaining. What's her name, Wes?
Naggy Nag McWomansplain.
Yes.
Naggy Nag.
Yeah, she grabs her and does and says the Vulcan line that my eye and your eye or my mind.
No.
Yep. And then she does the mind meld. And I'm watching this and I said, wait, guys, isn't that only a Vulcan thing? Like I'm not the most knowledgeable on Star Trek, but I even knew like that's a Vulcan thing. I didn't think you could do that. And they both said in unison, like, yep. She can't. They can't. And so then you get this apocalyptic vision that she has from oh God, what's her name again, Wes?
Naggy Nag McWomansplain.
Naggy Nag. Nag McWomansplain. Yeah, so you get to see the whole apocalyptic vision, and then that sends her off the deep end, and then she goes gets.
Oh, of course it does.
More.
Oh, the evil lore, Green Soji. We're calling her Emerald. She's Emerald.
The Emerald Princess.
I call her
Princess.
Data's android slut daughter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll give them credit because they made it, that one part was consistent in that when they introduced Daj, slept with some random alien dude. Soji, when you first meet her, she's screwing Narek. Well, Data's android slut daughter also puts the moves on Narek, so it's consistent.
Of course.
At least there.
Okay.
At least that writing is consistent.
Well,
Is that a Megadeth shirt you're wearing there, Steven?
What's that?
Is that a Megadeth shirt? I thought I saw a Megadeth shirt on you there.
That is absolutely a Megadeth
yes,
shirt.
It is.
I need it this early in the morning.
Damn right. Nice.
All right. What? All right. What's?
So anyway, the synths that we've been looking for to save for 9 episodes turns out after the mind meld, they've all decided that the warning that was to the humans was actually a warning to them to exterminate the humans. So now they're all evil. Now they're all evil. And
Okay.
In the vision,
the Romulans
realize
the whole time.
humans are going to kill because they're jealous. The humans get jealous of the androids because they live forever and never grow old. So they're going to take them all out. For some reason, they wanted to destroy them all because of jealousy. I guess that's the whole issue. So
the Romulans were right.
Yeah, the Romulans were right. But what's going to happen is humanity, in its short-sightedness, I guess, ends up destroying each other. So to save themselves, the androids decide they have to take out the humans and destroy them. I mean, that's what I got from that whole thing. Am I right about that, guys?
Yeah,
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was kind of unclear. Well, it didn't really. It's hard to follow. They don't make it very easy to figure out what the heck's going on in this.
So there's
go ahead.
There's a Romulan fleet approaching now to exterminate the synths, but now I want the synths to be exterminated because they're evil, which was pretty predictable that that's what was going to happen. One of the things that could happen, they're going to go do. But
yes, Picard has one of his moments where he's in front of all these, androids on the planet and said, come with me. We made our mistake, but I can go to Starfleet and they'll listen to me, and I can save you all. I'll make sure you all have homes, and they say no, basically. And even Brent Spiner, for some reason, he apparently knows everything that's going on, and he's like, they're not going to listen to you. They didn't listen to you then. They're not going to listen to you now, and then they arrest Picard.
He gets Picard's blamed.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's another thing with Girardi. We forgot about this little nugget with Naggy Nag McWoman's plane. I don't know if that when she shows up, everybody knows, all the Finns, everyone knows that she killed Bruce Maddox, and everybody feels sorry for her that she has to live with that burden. And she's like, "Oh, we're so sorry that you had to kill Maddox, or that Maddox is dead." And like,
hold on, whoa, hold on. This Black Widow killed her man, and everybody feels bad for her now.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also,
the poor woman had to murder a man. Oh, the poor woman. Oh my God.
Yep.
What kind of a message does that send to your audience?
Exactly.
And even though Picard, who did the right thing by leaving, I guess in their story, leaving Starfleet Command because they were doing the wrong thing, but he just gets bitched at the entire series. Meanwhile, a woman who kills her man is given sympathy.
Right. Fuck Star Trek. Star Trek is dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is not Star Trek. I don't know what this is, but it isn't Star Trek.
Nope. No.
Can you imagine William Shatner ever agreeing to do a series of Kirk that is paying Kirk like that?
William Shatner balls the fuck up.
He would never. Yeah, he would never compromise his character like that.
Man, I see him on a daily basis fighting with other blue checks.
Yeah. What?
People come at him left and right, man, all the time.
Yeah.
Because I follow him, and he shows up in the mentions. And
well, actually, I think that's his daughter. I think that's actually someone on his team. But I mean,
he runs his Twitter.
Yeah, I think there is somebody that runs his Twitter. But I mean, I'm sure that's Will on there a lot of times.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
man.
you can tell the difference between whoever's running his Twitter and when he says stuff.
I don't get it, guys.
Less diplomatic about it. It's more straightforward.
Yeah, he pretty much just talks about his horse charity.
He's the big horse guy.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. We got Doomcock unblocked that one time.
Yes, we did. Unblock Doomcock. That lasted like an hour. That was a really cool moment, wasn't it?
It was.
Yep.
It was.
Yeah.
We was all there. We all saw it.
Yeah. I like when he was like Doomcock, and then he had those eyes like, what the fuck? Yeah, I get it. I understand. It's not your everyday name, but
unblock
he is
the cock.
Unblock the cock. He is the future ruler of Earth. So.
Yeah, but that happened, and somehow they all knew that these random androids on this planet somehow knew that she killed Maddox, even though it had not been explained, and they should not know that had happened.
Well, I mean, you don't need any kind of logic or reason when it comes to the show. I think we've already figured that out.
Yeah.
Logic and reason got thrown out the window.
Creativity? Nah, don't need it. You need agenda, though. You really do need agenda.
Oh,
you need to yell at the old white guy. You need to get away with killing old white guys. Being
cheered and being felt bad about it. Being given sympathy over it. I should have known from that scene when they were all in the ship and they were like, "Are you going to turn yourself in?" And then she came out and said, "I'm going to turn myself in," and they were like, "Yay! Are you fucking kidding me? Why is she not in a brig right now? Why is Rios? Yeah. Did they detach his balls? Why did someone just got murdered on his ship and he's not going to put them in isolation?" Because she said, Stephen, didn't you hear? She said, "Well, I'm not going to kill anymore, so I'm over that." So that's good.
Well, that's cool.
She said that. She told him. It's okay. Said she wasn't going to do it anymore. No need for the brick.
So I'm not a murderer anymore, guys. So that's good news.
Yeah. So I'm over my murdering. Oh, great.
I can't deal with this anymore. I don't understand it. I don't.
And then here's another thing. I felt like the show was building upon this moment of this Borg cube coming back into activation, right? It seemed like they were building for this moment where it was finally going to get turned on, and it was going to be a huge thing. Well, it's in this show for like, I don't know, 30 seconds, and then crashes and it gets destroyed because of space orchids.
No. Whoa. The Borg cube. Whoa. The Borg cube was taken out by fucking space flowers.
Yep.
Whoa. Wait, you're lying to me.
Nope.
It took more space flowers. It only took one space flower for Rios' ship, but it took like 4 for the Borg cube.
Yeah,
the Van Halen ship is gone now?
Yeah, the Van Halen ship is not gone.
Is it gone? Structurally still there. They're trying to get systems back up.
Yeah, I think it's not totally destroyed yet.
But the Borg cube was taken out by fucking flowers.
Yeah, Borg cube is down.
Yeah, the flower made love to him. And then they crashed into the atmosphere.
And deflowered the Borg cube.
Okay. Whoever is near the creators of this show, cough on them. What the fuck?
But somehow, everyone on the cube, even though it's flying to this planet, at I'm sure a high speed and should have crashed like an asteroid, somehow the planet's fine, and the little town of androids that live right by the sea in the ocean that it crashed into, there's no tsunami or anything. So, that's all good. And everyone in the Borg cube is fine. So the 7 of 9 is there, and Elroy is there, and they're all fine. They all have a little moment of reuniting, and
the most scary ship in the fucking universe. The most scary ship in the universe. A ship that the only other ship I could think of that would, like, one-on-one could have a chance to take it on would be like the Scimitar. Something insanely powerful with a crazy, powerful weapon to destroy all biological life. Right? The most scary fucking ship in the fucking Star Trek universe was taken down by fucking flowers.
Yeah,
space flowers.
Orchids to be specific. Yeah,
fuck those orchids. I don't care if they were roses, fucking white lilies. I don't give a fuck. You're telling me that flowers took down a Borg cube. Then I'm going to watch this, and that is what I'm going to visually see. That is going to fucking happen. When I put on CBS All Access to watch this fucking episode, that this is going to fucking materialize before my fucking eyes. The goddamn space flowers took down a Borg fucking cube.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, you got passionate about it.
Oh, you do.
Oh
okay.
my god!
You do get one decent Picard moment towards the beginning of the show.
Yeah, about 10 seconds speech.
Yeah.
Surrounded by shit.
Before the space orchids take down the Borg cube.
Yep.
Oh my god! I hope so. Whoa.
Well, actually, now that I'm thinking about the Picard moment, the way Picard's been treated, it could be construed as a shitty Picard moment. Because I'm dying. I'm telling you all about it. I never want to hear it again. And if you mention it, it's going to piss me off.
Yeah.
So
shut the fuck up, Picard.
Yeah.
Shut up, Leslie has become shut up, Picard. What the fuck?
Now that I'm thinking about it, probably they're all like, "Oh, good, he's gonna die."
Well, he's an old white guy, so it doesn't matter. Oh my god!
Star Wreck. I like that. I don't know if it's Phoenix or Phoenix in the chat. Star Wreck edition. Yeah, it is a Star Wreck. That's a very good title. Yeah.
The question has been asked before, but I think is just as relevant at this moment. I think maybe more so. How retarded can this show get?
Well, we have one more episode to find out how much worse it can get than this.
Yeah.
This episode was under 46 minutes.
Yeah, it was like 45.
45.
Dude, I wouldn't have cared if it was 15 minutes.
Well, when I was watching this, I thought the space orchid thing, I was like, well, this kind of reminds me of the space whales in Star Wars Rebels, kind of the same sort of silliness, but that was animated, so you kind of get away with a little more than you do with live action. And, it just did not play. It did not play.
I'm chilling with All right, I'm chilling with Scott for the next couple of days, right? And yesterday we came home from work and we did a lot of different things and was busy as shit. Bear, I know I was supposed to call you. I promise I'll get up with you today. I was just really busy. And we were watching TNG because that's what Scott's doing now. He's watching TNG. He's watching season 1, right? He's like episode 6 he's on.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying that. Now, I'll be honest. I've watched them all before, but when I watch TNG, when I binge watch it, I usually start around season 4. End of season 3, season 4. That's when I start watching it. So I've like forgotten a few things from early in the series, and we're watching this episode yesterday, and they go to this sex planet. It's fucking awesome. All right, okay. The guys look really queer, but okay, it's whatever. And the girls are like a TNA, just hanging out all over the place, right? And I'm watching this episode, and even though there's TNA all over the place, there's a cohesive story. There's a narrative being told that isn't bludgeoning you over the head. It isn't preaching at you. It's just a story, science fiction. And it's from the first season, which is arguably probably the worst season of The Next Generation. Still better than this garbage. Still more Star Trek than this garbage right here that I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And I'm glad Scott's watching it because he's going to get to a point. And I told him, I was like, I'm not trying to spoil too much for you, but you're going to get to a point where you're going to see the opposite of Jump the Shark, Riker's beard, and you're going to see changes happening. You're going to see Data acting like an android, not acting like he's got emotions, which he does in the first season. And it's going to become more stabilized, and you're going to, really enjoy it. And then after you do that, I want you to go back and watch Picard. It's like when you get to the end, and tell me what you think. And I can't wait to hear. I can't wait to hear that. I can't wait to hear how he feels about that.
Yeah.
Well, season 1 towards the end got really good, I thought.
Well, that last episode in season 1 was awesome. They went totally. What I like about season 1 and what I'm remembering that I like about season 1 is all the homages to TOS. Some of the stories carry over, and just the theme of the kind of things that they encounter. Once you get into
a genuine respect.
Right. Well, and exploration, this seeking new life and new civilizations kind of ideas, like we were watching the episode with the Traveler, the first one, and all this different stuff. And, and we're seeing the different mechanics between the characters. Like things that I had forgotten, a lot of Picard was a bit of a dick. Riker was a bit of a dick. And everybody
That's what I
was
was saying a few days ago.
All right, and Scott's calling this stuff out to me, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. I forgot. Because once you get into season 3, everything is solid. Everything starts becoming solid, and then you really get a defined narrative of stories after 4, And so, the whole series is good, and I'm glad he's watching it from the beginning. But this is not what we're getting. This is not Star Trek Picard. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. This is the people that made Discovery. This is absolutely the people that made Discovery that have no idea what Star Trek is. They have no care for it, no dedication to the lore. They have a narrative to push, and it's awful. It's awful to.
Hey, last week, I went back and I watched at Farpoint.
Encounter at Farpoint?
Yeah, Encounter at Farpoint. And, I was like, and basically, I had been saying I had done some rewatch, and then I watched The Naked Now, and I went back and I watched episode 4 earlier today, and because I've been saying for a couple weeks now, it's like, man, he was kind of a dick.
Yeah.
He was
a dick. He was a dick. He hated kids. He wanted them fucking kids off his ship. God knows why he took that command. Probably for the prestige of having the flagship of the Federation.
Right.
I mean, but after everything that happened with Stargazer, I can understand him being as strict and rigid as he was. But yeah, he was a dick, and I have no problem with that because we watched that character evolve.
Right.
And also, as Patrick Stewart gave much more of a damn about the character, But I just, I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's heartbreaking to me. Like I know I get clicks and I come on and you know, sometimes I accentuate a little bit my ego or my characteristics, you know, as we all do when we're playing, you know, we're entertaining. But
Right.
I mean, in my soul, in my heart, this hurts that there is such a lack of respect to this material, that this is what we're getting. Fucking Board Cube taking out my goddamn space orchids. I am going to be so fucking pissed about that for the next fucking week. Holy shit, I'm actually going to do another Picard review.
Hey, you know what? I got a perfect analogy. You know the people that are going, okay, boomer, these young people, they're the people writing Star Trek Picard.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true.
I'd fuck that boomer chick though. I have to say, like, I'm not simping or anything. I wouldn't pay her money. I'd give her the dick for free.
She's kind of cute. So yeah,
I'm gonna eat these sausages.
Yeah, I had bratwurst for dinner last night.
Oh, I'm eating these fucking. I'm eating. I have been. So what I found out about Scotty is that he doesn't eat normal foods. Okay. He has lots of meat in his freezer. He's a carnivore. It's like his diet is, you know, it's whatever. But dude, I swear to God, he has meat, lots of meats in his fridge. So I've been eating meats.
Now, Stephen, don't eat all of Scott's sausage.
I'm eating his sausage right. Let me tell you, I am eating Scott's sausage right now. I'm eating that shit. My God.
Is Scott asleep? He was in the chat room briefly.
Yeah.
Was he? No, he left for work. About 45 minutes, an hour ago.
God, you got it's what 3, 4, 5? Oh, it's 6:05 there, huh?
Yeah, I still have another 2 hours before I hit my job.
Well, apparently,
I
had to. Remember, I tweeted about finding a 2 18-packs of toilet paper.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they modified my order. I got a 6-pack of that 24 that double equal 24 roll stuff.
Yeah, but you don't understand. Right now, Bear, that's $20 a roll, dog. $20 a roll.
Oh, and you know what? I've seen a lot of memes of the drug dealers selling toilet paper. And what's really funny is they're memeing themselves.
Yeah,
like advertisement.
We need comedy right now. Wes, we need comedy right now, sir. I don't know. All right, I need to roll.
So a man walks into a bar. No, hold on. Okay, so a black guy, a Muslim, and a terrorist walk into a bar, and the bartender says, "What'll it be, Mr. Obama?"
Oh shit!
Oh
my God.
Well, hey, you know what, Stephen? You know what I did the other day? Remember I told you I went out and got a carton?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went out and got another carton.
Yeah, well, I mean, you might as well have it. How are things in Washington? I know you guys are getting hit really hard.
People around here, Washingtonians, man, are some tough freaking people, man. They take things in stride. They don't stress about nothing. And, I've been driving here, driving there, and I've been talking with people. And, people like to tell me things. I like to have conversations with people. And I was talking with one guy that works at Walmart and all that, and not really stressed out about it. And it's like people, there's some people are just going in panic mode and buying up toilet paper. And, it basically, the media is perpetuating this stuff. I call it fear porn.
Yeah. John Talks did a tweet earlier and got swarmed by people that really want to make this, an insane emergency. I get the idea of being safe, being rational, being prepared, understanding that this thing's going to last a few months and that we're going to see a high death toll. I mean, high by our standards, not by the percentage of the population, but high by just numbers, Yeah. It's going to happen. But there's people out there that are just really caught up in the whole hysteria of it. And that's not what people need right now. If everyone gets hysterical, first off, it suppresses your immune system, being that stressful. It's going to put a strain on the economy. It's already put a strain on the economy, but it's going to put a strain on the availability of goods and services, or at least food. We all need to be serious and we all need to be measured right now, but not insane about it.
Right.
There's no sense in it. Let's get through this together. So when I see John Talks coming out and being like, look, these are the numbers right now. This is not that bad. This isn't as bad as people are working out. And then he gets attacked by people, people that I've interacted with, people that I, talk to or have talked to in the past. I'm astounded by it.
Oh, within the community.
Yeah.
Well, I responded to that, but I just said they're not really testing for it. That was my response to his tweet. And they're not, but
Right. I mean, it's going to be what it's going to be. I just, I think for each other, like what we're doing right now, this is a good thing, coming to get bullshitting about the card. It's an awful show. But it's not just for our mental health that we get together and talk. It's for people out there that need to be distracted. That's what we should be here for too. I think that's part of our small responsibility to the world, the world collective. So I just don't think of whipping up hysteria. That's not going to help anybody.
No, most definitely not.
Well, it's going to help the media.
Hey, I did my
Get
first
more
ever
viewers and get more watch time.
I did my first ever cooking video today.
Right now, the standard flu has a higher mortality rate, basically.
Right.
And basically, and they don't even have all the numbers. They don't have all that stuff calculated yet, and they're calculated between a 3 and 4% mortality rate. And I was listening to another YouTube channel. He was a bit more professional, suit and tie kind of YouTuber, and he was talking about it. And basically, when they get all the numbers and when it's finally said and done, it's probably going to have a mortality rate somewhere between 1%, maybe 0.5%, because everything that's come down the line when they've discovered viruses. They've always ended up having a lower mortality rate than they thought it was going to have. And in this case, stop panicking and just let the numbers come in.
Dig it. I'm going to run, guys. I got to get a shower.
In the past, it's proven not to be
All right, Steven.
All right.
Big,
Good chatting.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, good chatting, guys.
Have a good day at work.
I'm going to have a great day at work. I'm going to be yelling about space orchids and fucking board cubes all morning.
Hey,
I can't wait till you watch this show.
Steven,
I'm going to find every nerd.
Message.
I'm going to find every nerd and every geek on this construction site and commiserate. They're going to know how I feel, goddammit. All right. You guys have a great day.
Hey, Steven.
You too.
Don't forget about the Android mind
I
meld.
sent you an image in a text format.
Okay. All right.
You're probably going to cuss.
All right, Wes, final, Bear, give a good morning. Take care of yourselves, guys. What?
All right, you too,
Indeed.
Steven. Talk to you later.
Have a good one.
Well, guys, I think I might call it a night too.
Yeah, I
It's
think
3
we've.
a.m.
It is indeed 3 a.m. I think. Well, hey, we're all in the same time zone. Nice, finally.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's why it's easy to stream later at night because it's the same time for us.
What's up, CJ?
What's up, CJ?
Hey, CJ.
Well, I guess we'll do this again next week for the finale episode.
Oh man, I'm gonna need whiskey for that
who,
one.
Who here thinks that there's going to be? I might get me another thing of cognac. Who here thinks that the finale will be 2 hours?
No,
Nope.
No, you don't think so?
no,
No.
45 minutes, maybe 50. That's my guess.
Maybe like an hour and 15 minutes, but not 2 hours. It's oh man, holy shit, it's gonna be so stupid. I can already tell it's gonna be stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they'll end up with some kind of cliffhanger to build for season 2.
The cliffhanger is gonna be Michael Burnham.
Who's Michael Burnham? I'm not.
Oh, she's from Star Trek Discovery. She's the best as ever.
That about explains her. Yeah.
Oh boy. What's her name?
Her name is Michael Burnham.
Michael Burnham?
Yeah, the character name.
Burnham. So it's a guy or
No,
No,
it's a woman who's named Michael.
Huh.
Yeah, she played in The Walking Dead.
Yeah, she played I don't remember her name. She was good in that. She's not good in this.
Oh, okay. I see.
Toward-
Oh,
toward-
I know. Yeah. Okay.
I
I
found
recognize
her.
her from the
I found her
publicity shots
character
and
every
stuff.
now and then a little annoying. Toward the end.
In the Discovery.
Yes. No, in The Walking Dead.
She's
Walking
she's
Dead.
constantly annoying in Discovery.
And
I have
toward the
not
end of The
watched
Walking Dead,
any of
she was a
Discovery.
little bit annoying, her character.
Ooh, man. Well, did you use that link that I sent you the last time? Oh, wait. Oh, never mind. There's a way to watch it.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, I just haven't had any desire to.
Oh, okay. Boy,
Because I've
yeah.
heard such terrible things. I was like, okay, forget it. I'm not even interested.
Yeah, your head might explode.
Yeah. I'm going back. You know, I'm sticking to like watching the old series. So I've been running through that.
Yeah, I hear you. There's no need to watch it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed, but on Netflix, did you ever notice that Encounter at Farpoint Part 1 and Part 2 is one episode?
Which one?
Encounter at Farpoint. On Netflix, it's one episode.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was 2 episodes on mine.
Because Code of Honor on Netflix is episode 3, I think. Unless I misread that and need my glasses on or something. Let's see. I'm taking a look now.
I think all good.
I noticed the episode lineup on The Next Generation on CBS All Access. It's a little different.
I think All Good Things is 1 episode. But I thought Encounter at Farpoint was still 2 episodes. I could be wrong.
No, it's 1 episode. It's 1 and 2 in 1.
Oh,
On
okay.
Netflix. So The Naked Now is episode 2 in Netflix. But honestly, the picture quality on CBS All Access is a lot better. I think they're playing the remastered versions. Because I'm told that there's a remastered version of The Next Generation. I think that's what CBS All Access is what you're getting. Because the picture is really clear and really clean compared to Netflix.
Huh. Yeah. I've been wanting to pick up the Blu-rays. I saw them on sale for like $50, so I wasn't sure if it was all seasons or not.
Basically, Tom told me in chat that the UK version of The Next Generation on Blu-ray
Oh, I saw that.
has the remastered versions included.
And he said that's like a regionless.
Yes, regionless.
So it should work on like any.
Yeah, should. Besides, I think that my my 4K Blu-ray player, I think it will play any Blu-ray.
Which one? Your 4K Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that because I have it on Netflix, but you're saying it's not that the quality is not as good.
No.
Right?
I want to get the Blu-rays just because of the special features. Apparently, they have, Robert Meyer Burnett did the special features for TNG, the Blu-rays, and like they have extended scenes and behind the scenes and interviews and all that stuff. Yeah.
I wonder if it's on iTunes in 4K.
So Tommy, you're saying that I sound low?
Well, you sound pretty. I can hear everything you're saying.
Yeah, I got the volume.
I can hear it. The volume's a little lower than Wes's, but I mean, I can still hear you.
We check the main volume. Sometimes that makes a difference. Yeah, main volume.
Yeah, I keep my mic pretty close too. So.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, my mic's like, I'm like right in front of it. If I'm back a little further, it'll sound a little bit quiet, but I've been pretty much real close to it. So yeah.
Well, guys.
So they tried to feed us dog food.
Yeah, try to feed us dog food.
Yeah.
It's more like they rubbed our nose in dog shit, but that's okay.
Turned out to be dog shit.
That's probably a little bit more accurate.
We were promised kibbles and bits, but instead we got shits.
Yeah, they gave us the shit.
Gave us the shits, yeah. Promised the kibbles and bits, but it gave us the shits.
Absolutely. Well, next week the Four Horsemen will ride again.
Yeah, covering the final episode, season 1. We're all anticipating.
And we got 8 watching right now. 3:22 in the morning. We got 8 watching.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. I gotta say.
Commiseration is strong with this one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, guys, have a good night.
We got 9 watching now. Who just joined us?
Wow.
Who is our 9th viewer?
Whoa.
Say hello in the chat.
Well,
It's you.
Tune in. Yeah. Well, they
figured
just
I'd
left.
throw them
We're back
some
down.
Well,
Hey, we got 11 thumbs up though.
Hey.
absolutely.
So
11
yes,
thumbs up in the chat.
you have seen the Four Horsemen, and it is the late edition as well.
Catch us next week. Same
Hell to the
same
Fandom
bear
Menace.
time. No, I was going to do something. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Same bear time, same bear channel.
And I might be ghosting a bit here and there. As Tyler Mungus says, I'm Ghost Bear. Hail to you. Thank you for hanging out with us. And once again, I'll say it again. Without the chat, without you guys, it wouldn't be a fun show. So, hail to you, and thanks to the panel. And, we love doing this. And if we can help people ease their minds and help them feel a little better and feel a little bit more relaxed, well, then that's what we're going to do. See you tomorrow.
Darn right.
Have a great day.
Well said, Bear.
You can step outside and get sunshine if you have it. Hail.
Hail.